Well, greetings, YouTube model people. How's it going? All right, we're coming at you here on Monday, April 24th, 2023, with an NNL East 2023 edition recap. Yes, the NNL East was this past weekend on Saturday, April 22nd. It was the club's 35th show. As many of you are probably aware, maybe not, the show was on hold for a couple of years because of COVID-19, right? So they didn't have a show in 2020 or 2021 or 2022. So this was the first year back after a couple of years, and it was a very good show. They had a good showing of vendors, was pretty good, and the amount of models on display was also very, very good. So that was nice to see people still engaged and available to do this, and from all over too. You got talking to people, they were from all over, which is also very, typical of this show. I myself have been attending the show every year they've had it since 2001. So this was what, year 19 or 20, something like that, off the top of my head. And what's fun is to have people and see people who are experiencing it for the first time, because it's pretty cool. It's a pretty big show. It's almost sensory overload. There's so much going on. There's so many people there. So we had some YouTube people there for sure that this was their first NNL East. So again, it was a real fun thing to see them and hear them react and see what they thought about the whole thing. Very cool. It wasn't their biggest show that I've been to. To me, their 30th anniversary show a few years back now was their single biggest. It was just bursting at the seams, but this certainly was a good showing. But anyway, that being said, let me throw a couple shout outs here. I'm not going to try to list everybody that I met at the show, because I'm going to inevitably leave somebody out, and that is a terrible feeling for both of us, whoever the person is I didn't mention, and myself. So we're not going to try to name names, but I am going to shout out a couple individuals. First I'm going to shout out is Frank Frizzo. He went from just going to this show to actually, with his club, participating and volunteering and working the show. So that was quite a switch in roles, to be able to just walk around and be a spectator and enjoy, to having to work it and also try to be a spectator a little bit in between, which you're allowed to do a little bit. So so shout out to him, and also for what I thought was a very cool idea that Frank did, was set up a live stream on his channel. And this is Frank Frizzo at Frizzo's Model Cars. He right here on YouTube. So he set up a live stream a couple nights prior to the show, just so people who were going to the show could kind of meet each other. And some of us knew each other, some of us never did meet each other before. So it was cool to be introduced to a couple folks on that live stream, and then say, okay, yeah, we're going to see each other, face to face in a couple days. So it was kind of a nice primer, without a doubt, to do that. So Frank, thanks for hosting that. It was super cool. He also was reached out to me to say, look, let's try to corral people together if we can on Friday night, the night before the show, to hang out a little bit. We did do that a little bit. And then also Saturday after the show, to try to corral some people from YouTube and other content creators to join us for dinner after the show on Saturday. And we were able to do that. And I will tell you this was the most successful attempt at doing something like that, where over the years I've always run into people from YouTube and here and there, and spoke to them and all that, but we never did like a group photo. This time we did. We never went out to dinner afterward. This time we did. So awesome, good job by Frank. And also special thanks to Chris over at CD Scale Models, who really elevated the whole get together after the show thing by bringing homemade Italian rainbow cookies that he made himself, which were off the charts awesome. If this model building thing doesn't work out for him, he can certainly find a future in being a baker and doing that for a living, because they were amazingly awesome. So special thanks to Chris too for putting in extra effort, and also helping with talking and between me, Frank, and Chris, just discussing ideas of potentially places to go and how to coordinate a gathering. So again, and let me also, in that same vein, the restaurants in the area, you're talking about a Saturday night, okay? So Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, these like very common restaurants, not fancy restaurants, obviously. We didn't want to go to something that people can't afford. They're not going to take reservations, right? Because they don't need to. They get plenty of volume that come in. And so we couldn't reserve for a certain number of people. We didn't even know how many people we were going to technically have. And some things got a little mixed up with our seating, and I apologize to anybody who maybe felt like that was left out or didn't go so well. I do apologize because I was trying to coordinate that a bit, and it could have gone a little smoother, but I think in the end, I think we found a way to get around it. So anyway, I don't want to jibber jabber on here too long, but really, again, the shows like this, it's in any real model show or contest, it's always about the people first and the fun of meeting people, new people, people we haven't seen in a while, or whatever it is. That's always the best part of it. It's just awesome to share stories, whether it be about the hobby or not. Just sit down and break bread too. It's just really just super, super fun. So really, and of course then there's this amazing show going on too of vendors and displayed models, and of course that's fun too, obviously. But all that other stuff that you get to do outside of the models is really just the one of the most enjoyable experiences when you go to shows. So there's really, if I had a list item priority one, that would be the reason to go to a show, is to go communicate, hang out with your fellow model builders, whether you know them or not, whether you know them from YouTube or not, whether they're on YouTube or not, or Facebook, doesn't matter. Just your fellow model building community people that are into the same interest as you are. It's just so cool. So all that aside, all that awesome stuff aside, they had the, like they've done a few times now, this club hands out goodie bags once you've paid. So these are like these cloth bags with handles, and they're strategically sized to fit the standard model car box in there. So when you make some purchases, you have something to carry around your stuff with. I'm knocking my sign down here. So that's very cool. And in there you get a couple goodies. In mine, I had a wooden nickel. That means you save $5 at the vendor table. Not all of them have wooden nickels. I think if I've added up all the years I got about a 15% success rate of getting a wooden nickel in my bag, but they are generous with giving them out. They do give quite a few of them out, so that's very cool. So I was lucky to do that. I grabbed a pen. Even Frank gave me an extra pen or two from NNL East. It's always cool to have a pen. I used it a few times, actually, to tell you the truth, throughout the day. We went old school, didn't use the phone. In the goodie bag, there was also a little color, kind of insert from Atlantis models, who also had, stuff there. So that was super cool. That was included. We also had the traditional photo etch license plate for NNL and the particular year of the show. I have several of these now. I don't think I've ever used one. I'm way overdue to use one, and I think I actually misplaced my 30th anniversary show one, which is tragic. I think I misplaced it. Not positive, but yeah, they give these out every year, which is super neat. Again, photo etch license plate of the current show year. So there's NNL East on there, very neat. And it's never too early to plan for the next show. So here is the date of the next year's show, April 27th, 2024. And it's going to be a rods and customs theme. So I know that's a lot of people in the community do that. Hey, you know what? Make it a point. See if you can come on up, talk to some of the people who were there, or even better yet, talk to some of the people who were there for the first time and see what, see what they think. And, maybe you'll be inspired to come and make the trip up. So that's basically was it for the goodie bag. I also, on the same kind of like fortunate thing, they also put a raffle ticket in there, a free raffle ticket. And if you're lucky enough to have your number called, you get to pick something off the very plentiful selection of things on the raffle table. No shortage of items to choose from. And you know what? I broke a many-year losing streak of not winning a raffle at a show of any kind, really. So I actually won. And I wasn't sure what to grab because they had some real good choices. So I decided, it's always about the kits for me, 99% of the time. So I grabbed this one here. This Revell limited edition, 1 out of 10,000, Team Tabasco Grand Prix. I know absolutely nothing about the team, the car, the driver, or anything like that. I just thought it was very cool car, colors, and such. And I have a couple NASCARs in my stash, so I don't know when I would ever get to this one. I have at least 5 in my stash, so who knows? You never know. Maybe I'll just randomly, pick that one out and build it at any moment. So that was cool as part of the raffle. I wasn't very good. I brought some with me, but I wasn't very good about hunting or bothering people about their shop cards because you're walking around, you're in different parts, and people don't necessarily have them in their back pocket. But good old Dan, the man from 60s Rule, he was nice enough to give me one of his shop cards, and that is super awesome. Here's his email below if you wish to send him an email and request for one of his shop cards. He has a really neat card because he's got all kinds of models and hobby things on there, including trains, which is great with me because that's where I started, was in the hobby scale trains, HO scale trains years and years ago. Even though he's got N scale, that's all right. It doesn't matter. It's all about trains. So yeah, definitely thank you, Dan. It was great to meet you and your wife, and we had a great time hanging out after the show, of course, at dinner. It was lots and lots of fun. So thank you for the shop card very much for that. I will send one off to you because I don't think I was able to get you one. So I apologize for that, but we will get one out to you in the mail. So what else do we have going on? All right, we got stash ads. Let me go through these pretty quickly because I realize this video is going to be too long. I actually bought this kit at NNL East many years ago. It was probably back in like 2004 or 5 or something like that, early 2000s. The one I bought at the time was an open box. And at that time, I was a little tentative about buying open boxed kits and opening the box to check the contents before, walking away or buying it, I should say. So I just kind of, took it as is and walked away. And I was severely disappointed because it was the first, and by the way, only time that I fell for that trick. Pretty much, I got the kit home and it was already pieces off the tree and things were missing and, all that kind of stuff. So I was, very disappointed, and I thought this was a pretty good price. I got this for $40. I think it goes on eBay and other places for more than that. So I have the other Cannonball Run vehicles. A couple I've done. I did the ambulance, Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds drive, the main vehicle, I guess you could say. I've done the Lamborghini Countach that the two wonderful, pretty women drive. And I feel like I'm missing one. Let's just put it this way. I have them all in my stash. So now it's nice to finally have the full kit, and I have a kit that has some parts of this in it as well as a spare or extra parts or whatever it is. So it was nice to pick that up. I haven't seen that at a show in a long time. So it was nice to get that one. If you guys know me a little bit, you know I like small scale. I saw this wonderful little kit. This 1/32 scale MPC Aston Martin, and this one we're going to probably build. I don't know for sure, but we may be building this for next year's small scale group build, and I'm going to paint it like, no surprise here, I'm going to finish it off like a 007 James Bond car. Even if it's not the exact year or model, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to paint it German silver, that wonderful color. I think it's Mica silver from Tamiya, and then the interior to match. And I don't know about, I'm going to do a little research about weapons on the outside. I may even add those. So there you go. I'm already giving you a huge preview of next year's small scale group build. But competing for the limelight of the small scale group, but we could go with this guy. This I just thought was pretty cool. It's a clean, brand new kit. I have no idea what company this is. It's a Toyota Harrier, and it wasn't very much. I think I paid, what was it, $6? Yeah, $6 for it. And it's really a toy, and I knew it was when I opened the box without even looking at the instructions. This comes with batteries, and you can operate it and all that kind of good stuff. I'm never going to do that, of course. It's just going to be a model kit that I build. So I just thought it was something different, something cool, looked like fun. And yeah, we'll show you here. Since it's an open box, I didn't open it. It's an open box. Here's what the body looks like. Very nice, good detail, crisp, separately wrapped, which we always love. Rubber tires, good grille detail. So it's a good little kit, you know? Good little kit. It'd probably be a great little 48-hour build. Huh, what do you know about that? And then I said if I saw this kit throughout the day somewhere, you usually do, I would pick it up just because I think it's cool, and it came out a bit ago now. But as far as the re-release, even the repop, is this guy here, the 1970 Camaro, forward motion, or 70 and a half, I guess I should say to be technical, from AMT. This box is super heavy, although it doesn't look like it has a million parts in it, looking at the parts tree, but I'll tell you what, this box is very heavy. So I don't know, maybe it has like 4 sets of instructions in there, or directions, or whatever, but yeah, very cool kit. The reason, oddly enough, you know, some people talk about inspiration and projects and things. This is a case where the car itself is cool, just tough and mean looking, but really it's the color that drew me to this kit and wanting to get one. And I have the exact paint in my stash. I think it's Tester's One Coat Lacquer. It's a green, like a metallic, dark metallic green. Probably a little darker than the actual car, but I like the darker green anyway. So that's what really attracted me to this project. So sometimes I think of a color I want to use and find a kit to match that color, versus just finding a kit or thinking of a project and then, you know, finding a color to go with it. So sometimes I do the other way around. Now, this is an interesting thing, and this was a bit of a splurge, and I'm going to need some help with this one, I think. But I got a 1975 LTD wagon. This is a Ford station wagon, and it's part of this guy here, Too Many Projects Resin Company on Facebook and YouTube. These are the QR codes, but there's his email address right there. Robert Burns Jr. 101 at yahoo.com. If you're interested, we're going to show you this kit. He had a bunch of kits, a few station wagons too, but this was the one I liked the most out of the ones he had available. Not cheap, good quality, not cheap. $100 for every one of his kits. So here we are. Again, something different, something you're not going to find very easily. So I had no trouble just doing a little bit of a splurge. I mean, if this doesn't bring back memories, if you grew up with station wagons, we had one ourselves in our family. I think it was a 76 Chevy Malibu. The back of them, just a classic look on the back of them, station wagon. So you get that with the kit, and you get some other parts here. I don't know if I'm going to go through all this now, guys, but you get the grill, you get cutouts, you know, that you can stencils for the glass, clear glass. You have the light lenses, you know, bumpers, you know, parts like that. They're all wrapped up like this, right? So you do get some things. The thing is, you don't get the chassis and you don't get the interior tub. So here's my question, and I'm going to throw this out to Old Tom, good old Rambler 69, because I know he is a wealth of information. I asked this guy what would be the best kit for fitting this body onto, and he told me it would be the 1970 Ford Galaxy, which I have no idea what he's referring to. I Googled it real quick at the show. I couldn't really find much on it. So I don't know what kit company would have something like that. I don't even know if he's talking about a Ford Galaxy station wagon or something. I have no idea. So if you happen to know what a 1970 Well, he said 1970 Galaxy. He didn't even say Ford Galaxy, but I'm sure he meant Ford Galaxy. So if anybody knows that, I would love to hear from you. Please comment below and let me know. I would be forever grateful. So that's basically it, folks. I'm sorry this is a long video. I am going to post a slideshow. I took a lot of pictures of the heavy commercial category entries because I got to tell you right now, I've been to so many shows over the years, big ones, IPMS Nationals, and obviously many NNLs. There's no show that I've been to that has a better display of heavy commercial vehicles than the NNL East. You know, maybe there's one out there somewhere. Obviously there could be, but I've never seen it. So I kind of focused a lot of my picture taking on that. And I didn't take any videos, I just took some pictures. So we're going to post that up shortly after this, probably a day or two, something like that, I guess. Maybe before the end of the week, let's put it that way. I'll give myself a couple extra days. So that's it, folks. Sorry to jabber on forever. I guess you could probably tell I had an awesome time. Anyone I met, anyone I talked to, it was a super pleasure and super fun to chat with you and maybe even meet you for the first time. It was awesome. Can't wait to do it again. And yeah, everyone be well, and we'll talk to you later. Cheers.